preserved my youth. Not only did it capture my goals, it told me the truth.
Conversate for a few, cause it a few.
I let them know we missing you. The love is unconditional.
Wave your hands across the land if we family.
We got a world premiere right here, now get lost.
So off we go, let the trumpets blow. And hold on, because the driver of the mission is a pro.
Not, and honestly, I think voters are kind of over the "we hate Trump" thing, because I mean, we do hate Trump, but what is hating Trump gonna get us, really?
Passion.
Yeah, you can't take your hate for Trump to the grocery store and buy groceries. You can't take it to the gas station and fill up your car. It's not doing anything. We need to focus on real, sustainable affordability for people. We need to focus on doing some things that are going to improve the quality of people's lives. Donald Trump being dead or alive does not affect me. Donald Trump being impeached or not does not affect me on a day to day basis. Do I think he belongs in jail? Absolutely. But I don't want you to use your time and resources on that when you could be fixing my life.
Right. Right.
And I think that the Democratic Party needs to get back to the kitchen table issues where we talk about things like affordability, healthcare, quality education. Those things are universal.
Right.
Those things matter to Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Green Party members. They matter to everybody. So why are we not talking about those things that matter to everybody instead of focusing so much on things like identity politics?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I think with this midterm election coming up, it's very critical. It seems like every election now is critical, right? But
Mm.
this
It
one,
gets more and more critical.
this one coming up. I mean, because like folks try to tell people, listen, you cannot let him into office, or
That's right.
he's going to be able to put these crazy folks on the Supreme Court, and we see
Hmm.
how that played out for us. We see that he has the House, he has the Senate, and he has the courts.
But you know what? That takes me back to something we talked about earlier about Democrats being proactive. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was very selfish and evil for not resigning instead of just dying. As soon as President Obama was elected, she should have resigned. That should start becoming the norm. When we see that we have a Democratic president come into office, a, a Democratic House and Senate, or even one that is agreeable, because it doesn't necessarily have to be all Democrats, but just a sensible House and Senate. You know, Supreme Court justices need to go ahead and retire
Well,
for the good of the country.
first of all, it should be an age limit for all politicians. I know you're an elected official, but it should be an age
I
limit.
don't believe that.
I do.
So I don't believe. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna
Especially
tell you
for
why.
either an age limit or a term limit for the Supreme Court.
I believe in a term limit for the Supreme Court, but I don't believe in age limits because it's nothing wrong with age. What's wrong is when someone doesn't have the mental acuity to do the job. So as long as they have the mental acuity, they need to be allowed to do the job. If they need to go home, let the voters send them home. I really think that putting term limits on people, now I believe in term limits for the Supreme Court because they are appointed. They're not elected. But for elected individuals, I don't believe in term limits. I believe when the people are tired of them, let the people send them home.
I just feel like when it comes to people who are in their 80s making policy decisions that are going to impact us for years and years to come, and they are may or may not be in touch with all of the electorate that they represent. I think that there's an issue with that. I don't think that there should be any elected official that's traveling with their own nurse to get around. I just don't. I don't believe so. If I don't want Nana in her 80s driving, why do I want her making decisions that are going to impact my grandchildren and her great grandchildren? I mean,
So
I hear
let me ask you this. So is it fair to Nana that somebody 25 and 35-year-old makes decisions about people who are aging? One thing about Nana, she's been 25 and she's been 35. But that 25 and 35-year-old, they've never been Nana. They've never been 80. So I don't think that we should discount the wisdom that comes with age. I think we should focus purely on the mental acuity. If someone doesn't have that, the mental capacity to do the job, they absolutely send them home. But that's something that can also come at a young age.
I hear what you're saying, but I think like with Jim Clyburn, right?
Hmm.
He's in his 80s. And he was supposed to step
Hmm.
aside to let his daughter run to take that seat. But he said, nah, I'm gonna run again. Now, what happens if we all gonna pass? Well, what if he passes soon and then I don't know South Carolina state laws, but the governor is able to put somebody into his seat, and that tips the battle, tips the balance back to the Republicans, or in a way that's negative that impacts us. That type of stuff happens. So that's why I feel like
So,
if you're not physically, if you're at a certain age, right? And maybe there should be some sort
mhm,
of acuity test or some sort of test. I don't know. But I think if you talk to most people, they'd probably be in favor of age limits for politicians.
they would. And you know what? That's very sad to me, especially as a Democrat. I supported Michael Thurman in this race. Michael Thurman is 73 years old. Michael Thurman also has the best record of anybody who was there in that race. He has the reputation and the track record of fixing every single office he's been in. He also was the only person on the entire ballot who has been elected statewide as a Democrat. His all of he still has all of his mental faculties. He can probably outrun me and you. He's in very good shape mentally and physically. But I had people saying things to me like, "Oh, but he's old. He needs to go home." Listen, we're Democrats. We jump down everybody's throat about every single ism there is. But we are typically the party that are first in line to be ageist and show ageism.
Mm.
And that bothers me. That bothers me because if you have someone who's mentally equipped, who can do this job and do it well, why are we telling them that they have to go home simply because of their age?
I hear you. I just think maybe there's a different way for them if they really are about the people
Hmm.
and making sure that they leave where they live a better place. Just because they're not in an elected position doesn't mean that they still can't have influence. Uh, Representative Clyburn could still use his connections and his authority to be able to help his daughter and his constituents. Maybe
Well,
not.
his daughter has another problem. His daughter has another problem with walking into her daddy's seat.
What's
And it's
that?
called vote. Well, two problems actually. One is voters because that's not for her or her daddy to decide who gets there. The
Mhm.
second is Bakari Sellers because he's going to run for that seat, from my understanding, and he is favored to win that seat
Is that be,
because
is he running because he wants change? They're trying to primary to Clyburns or because
no,
of
what I'm saying
redistricting?
is it
No,
is
I'm asking for
rumored.
clarity. Is he running to say, hey, listen, we need change, or is it because of the redistricting? Is that why he's running?
So first of all, we don't know that he's running, but it is rumored that if Clyburn doesn't run, that he'll run for that seat. He's not going to run against Clyburn, but he's running because he's brilliant and he can do the job.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with any of that stuff. Um, but yeah, we don't have. We're not a monarchy. So all of this walking my son and walking my daughter into the seat, we got to move away. We got to move away from even thinking that's a thing.
I agree. I agree.